It's time to rewire your mind. Welcome to the Hayden Russo Show, the show that provides you with inspiration to help you succeed in life. Here's your host, Hayden Russo.
You're live here on Talk Zone, and this is the Hayden Russo Show. I want to thank everyone for your feedback. I want to thank Mr. Green for your daily positive, wonderful messages that you send to all. I want to thank all of the people that support this show and the success. And we're happy that you listen to the show, and we've let you down a couple weeks. We haven't sent you out the YouTube clippings, but we'll get back on track on that and make sure that you guys are getting the message out. How do we cash in on the opportunities in life? How do we begin taking advantage of all the things that's been going wrong in our lives? How do we start overcoming the constant things that continue to happen over and over again in our lives? How do we cash in on the opportunities in life? Do we lose out on opportunities in life because we have poor thinking habits? And we I'm one that has always said that your life will begin to change when you begin to take 100% responsibility for your life, and then you begin to convert that into 100% responsibility on the change that you will bring into your life. And then through will and through courage and faith, you overcome those things. And we've always said that your lives and our lives is what we think it is. Sometimes our thinking is not reality. Sometimes the things that we fear, we shouldn't fear at all. You can go back and you can ponder on all of the things that you have feared in life. The things that you're worried about. How things were going to turn out. Oh, how things were going to go wrong. Oh, all of those things. When you start thinking about the officer pulling you over for speeding, all of a sudden you attract the officer. If you think about things are going to go wrong in a play, then things go wrong in the play. But then if you do the opposite, if you think about positive things and how successful the team meeting is going to be, and how successful the conference call is going to be, and how it's going to help improve you and help continue moving you in a learning mode. I hear people all the time, oh, I got to get on this conference call. I got to get on this stupid this or do that. Stop wasting your mental energy. You are what you think about. No doubt about it. But it starts with worrying. And remember, we've had shows in the past that the brain neurons are not made to worry. They just don't know how to do it. So when you start worrying, you start damaging neurons. And look, the Bible says that worrying is equivalent to a sin. So we should not be worrying about things. But, when we live in a world that is like a world that is negative most of the time, if you have a show that preaches positive and you have a show that gives you all of the stabbings, the killings, the muggings, the political hot spots and all of the various things, which one you think would have the higher rating? Why do we worry ourselves to death? I don't know. Because at the end of the day, last time I checked, bills can't kill you. Embarrassments can't kill you. Failures can't kill you. Anything that doesn't come out the way that you want can't kill you. So I just don't know for the life of me, why do we worry ourselves to death? We have to get away from those type of thinking. We have to start, when you find yourself thinking about things like that, just look at 7 different things and call them the wrong name. When you start getting things like that happening to you. Because if you don't change yourself, or if we don't change the negative mindset, then you have to wonder, what will we become? What will we become if we continue down a negative track instead of a positive track? What will we become if instead of running away from our fears, we want to be an individual that encounters the fear in terms of understanding it and assess it and don't worry about it, and then have the courage to say, I'm moving forward. What is our attitude towards overcoming things? Are we blaming other people for our lack of success, or where we feel that we should be at this point in our life? Are we blaming someone else for that? And if you are, that's that thinking that we have to get away from. You have to have a positive attitude, and you have to have energy. You have to be pumped up. You have to fire yourself up. You have to go all out when you find yourself like that. How do we turn our life around when we're in situations like that? And then when you find yourself in situations like that, are you managing the time? Are you managing your time in addressing the situation? In most cases, we'll run or we'll do nothing and think that the problem or the issue will go away. And it's not like that. You have to confront it. What if if confronting your fears help you continue to build the confidence that you need to overcome the daily battles that will inevitably find you? What are the keys to success? These are some of the things that, and some of the questions that I hope that this show will answer as we move along. But No matter what we do, we have to start understanding that everything starts with us. Everything that happens to us is because of our thinking, our habits, the people we engage ourselves with. And if we don't begin to lock down on what it is that we want, if we don't begin to lock down on our attitude, if we don't begin to lock down on our belief, if we don't begin to lock down on our courage, if we don't begin to lock down on our faith, then we'll be in a long run. We'll be in a long haul. This life will be very difficult for us. And if we're going to take advantage on the opportunities in life, then we must buckle up and we must stand up, woman up. I don't care what the situation is. I don't care if it's a loss of a husband, or if it's a loss of a wife, if it's a loss of a child, or if it's a loss of a job, or if you're facing difficulties, or if you're living under a bridge. I don't care what the situation is. I don't care if it is if you've been incarcerated, or whatever the case may be, or it for some reason, you found yourself, you've had a DUI now. I don't care. You can overcome those things. Excuse me. You can begin a new you, but it all starts in believing in you. Having the faith that you can move mountains. Having the courage that when other people are running, you running away, you walk towards the problem. And if you have the energy, you run towards the problem. And if you fail, the things that you will learn will give you the experiences beyond your wildest dreams. And one thing, as you continue to gain the experiences of life, then the wisdom and the abundance of life will find you. And then you'll be on the opposite side of the winning, because you'll be taking advantage of the life opportunities. You'll be managing your time. You'll be managing your resources. You'll use your mind to overcome a long history or a long-term bad habits. You'll learn how to give them up by learning how to do things. And remember, when you're learning new habits, you have to just do it. You can't think about it. You have to do it. Because if you wait for the brain to tell you to do it, then you already are in a bad spot, and the likelihood of you doing it would be very nil. So my suggestion is that you push yourself. When you're trying to get out of the bad spot, you push yourself. And you have faith that you can move mountains, and you believe. Now, although you may have faith, you have to understand that faith and facts are two different things. Faith is in you saying that you'll find a way, and you're determined to overcome all of the struggles that may lie ahead. But with the facts, through constant reading, through constant self-development, through constant self-improvement, is the key. That's the armor and the shield, because you're constantly improving yourself. And when you constantly improving yourself and you add positive into the mix, and you start having a positive attitude and you start getting things done and you start pushing yourself, then the thing that would happen is you will start separating yourself from the individuals that are no longer heading in your direction. And when that starts to happen, that's when your faith has to kick in, because now it may seem that you're doing the wrong thing when you're doing the right thing, because it looks like you're not doing what everyone else is doing. See, that's what got me incarcerated, because part of the reason was I had to come down. I couldn't learn in school, because if I was smarter than all of the kids around me when I was growing up, then I wouldn't be cool. Not when you're hanging with gangbangers. Are you serious? So you got to have the faith, but then you have to have that constant improvement. You have to be going out to seminars, and you have to be finding mentors to help you to improve yourself. You have to constantly work out your body and begin to eat healthy so that you can continue to help the mind to be strong through eating the right foods and having the right nutrition and staying away from sugar and other things and exercising your body. Okay, so that we can take care of the physical aspect of this thing. So now that you're starting to separating yourself, so now you need to keep yourself healthy. Okay, because it's going to take more energy, because once you start going and you start pulling away from your bad habits and pulling away from your negative friends and pulling away from the 7 people that you constantly hang with that have you in the state and in the point of this stage in your life. You start pulling yourself away from that, and it's going to require a lot of energy. And how you're going to obtain that type of energy is through healthy eating, trying to make sure that 65 to 70% of all of the foods that you eat are greens and vegetables. Now, you can use the other 30% however you want it, but make sure that the 70% is that. I don't care if you chop up steak and put it on top of a salad. Chop it up. But you get away from all of the rice and the starches and all of the mashed potatoes and all of the other things that you would eat. We don't have time for this stuff. We don't have time for diabetes. We don't have time for high blood pressure. We don't have time for all of those negative diseases. We don't have time for depression. We don't have time for all those things. We are on a mission. So when you start pouring in all of the facts and obtaining all of the knowledge, then you start becoming aware of more different things, and you start becoming aware of knowledge. And one thing that I became aware of is that you can't just be all positive all the time. You know, and my wife had to put me in check on this, because I was just when my transformation, I was just being all positive. And every time somebody did something wrong to me, I was still being all positive. No. If someone slaps you 3 times, if someone steals your money, if someone continue to abuse you verbally in front of your friends, if someone doesn't help out or reach out in time of need, when they know that you're in need, it may be trying to complete a project, it may be trying to overcome some type of obstacle or overcome some type of fear. When you need them, are they there? Okay, so when you start arming yourself with facts, and you start believing in yourself, and you start becoming aware of the people that you can hang out with, and you start distancing yourself from the other people that had you thinking in a poor habit, and you start reaching up and you start asking for help from people that are already successful, and you're eating healthy, your confidence will begin to build. And as your confidence builds, you won't see hurdles. You'll just see overcoming the hurdles. You won't see a cup of water half full. You'll see a cup of water that is half full and is ready to get full because it came into you. Anything that comes into put it this way. If you know me and you ask me to do something, I would go all out to help you. I don't know how to do anything 50%. To the cheerleaders that I cheer with, I'm out there just cheering with them. Go, go, go. Give me a cheer. I don't know how to do things halfway. But in the beginning, when I used to go out to football games and I used to be supporting, it was something that was unorthodox. But I didn't give up when people wouldn't shake my hand because the kids loved me. I didn't give up when I heard negative things in the stand. I continued being myself. So do you. Don't try to be anyone else. Because when you start arming yourself with the facts and you start becoming aware of the things that used to be how you used to think, and you start looking at things the way you should be looking at them, and you build the confidence, okay, it'll give you now you're building the momentum for action. And when you start getting the action momentum behind yourself, you just start working hard. You just start working, just going all out. You start just giving it in. You just start just energy. You just start giving your energy to everything that you do. And you start pushing yourself. And you start getting on the winning side of life. And you start cashing in on the opportunities in life. And you start becoming a winner. Okay? But the things that'll hold you back is worrying. And as we begin to get prepared for this short commercial break, the next segment we'll begin to get into worrying and why you have to get rid of the worrying and get the worry out of your life and get that part of aspect completely out of the way so that you can propel yourself forward. It's time to take a short break. We'll be back with more right after this. Why replace your roof when you can repair it? Call Built Right Roofing today at 844-277-7663. That's 844-277-7663. Come and experience the Built Right way at 844-277-7663. The best pork barbecue, ribs, and chicken in the state of Florida. Don't believe it? Try it yourself. Call Bounce Back Barbecue at 561-307-4382. They also do catering. That's 561-307-4382. Man, I'm getting ready for First Friday. What? Man, look at your hair. Dude, go get a haircut. It's 8 o'clock. What do you mean 8 o'clock? You still have time. Go down to Headliners. They'll take care of you right away. 1523 West Blue Heron Boulevard, Riviera Beach, in the Imperial Plaza. If you get lost, give them a call. 561-429-4765. Go down to Headliners. Come experience a true haircut.
Buy, sell, or rent. Call Shakira Roll today at 561-312-2641 or email her at info@rollhomes.com. That's info@rollehome.com. Visit her website at www.rollhome.com. That's www.rollehome.com.
Invest in Macedonia.com. www.inmacedonia.com. The future to connecting the world.
The House of Bling is here. Woo! Specializing in rhinestone apparel. Bling out your company logo or team logo. Call today. 561-723-6781. Woo! They're ready. Get your bling, women, cheerleaders. Tell your coaches about the House of Bling. We're here for all custom apparel. Again, that phone number is 561-723-6781.
You're listening to the Hayden Russo Show on TalkZone.com. Here's Hayden Russo.
Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Now, are you allowing worrying and your attitude to get in your way? You know, the thing about life is that we have to understand that negative is a part of life that's normal. I don't care what you do. There's no way that you can go through the day without running into someone that's negative. Matter of fact, if you was to take a study yourself and of 10 people, you would find that 6 to 7 of those individuals would say negative comments as opposed to positive comments. And it doesn't mean anything. It just means that you need to be aware. And I'm not going to get back into the last segment, but you need to be aware so that you don't have a disease of attitude. Because see, when you start worrying about things, you don't listen to people. You start blocking people out. Okay? Worrying is a bad, bad, bad disease. Okay? And it leads to a disease of attitude. Okay? So we must learn how to handle the normal negative in life. Okay? And we you know, one of the things that I found was that some of the people that were holding me back was the people that I had to pump up all the time. I'm always helping them solve their problems. I'm always reaching out and doing all the things for them. And then I start saying to myself, who's going to do it for me? Who's going to look after my issues and my problems? No one can do that. So that's when I started changing the individuals that I was hanging out with, and I started finding myself not hanging out with individuals that needed to be pumped up, but individuals that wanted to help each other and wanted to learn from each other and gain experiences with each other and obtain wisdom with one another. Okay? So don't be a follower. Learn to be a student of life. Let me back that one up. Don't be a follower. Learn to be a student in life. You know, a lot of times I'll go out and I may be at a function and I may be listening to someone give me their opinion on of their subject, but I will make the decision on whether I use the information or not, because I'm not a follower. I'm a student. I learn from everything. If we were to get our feelings out of the way and we get this disease attitude completely blocked off and we start thinking like in the terms of a scientist, where we're just experimenting with anything and leave your feelings out, life would be so wonderful. You'll get the worrying out of your life because you'll be a student of life. Things wouldn't bother you because you'll be a student of life. You'll be learning how people behave when things bother them and how individuals behave when they're elated, ecstatic. So don't ignore the negative, handle it. if you have a friend that you really like and you really don't want to end your friendship with them because they're purely negative, then you need to handle it. You need to confront that individual and express to that individual that in order for you to maintain a friendship with that individual, you no longer can handle the negative comments, the negative connotation, or the belittling, or whatever the case may be, and that's how you handle it. Okay? Learn how to respond. When you start changing yourself and you start seeing yourself in a better light, learn how to respond by making a commitment to yourself that you will learn new learning techniques. And through learning new learning techniques, you will learn how to handle negative people. You know, when you make a commitment to yourself that you're going to get something done, it gets done. And when you start building on that and you start building your self-confidence, okay? And part of your response to the new you, go back and take a look at some of the stuff that when you were not in the right mindset, that you didn't give it your all. Go back and take a look at it. There's no law that says that you can't go back and look at one of your failures to see if you can make it successful. Are you serious? There's no law against that. Okay? So go back and take a new look. And as you continue to build your self-confidence, understand that. Okay? That if you stall, when you say that you want to do something, if you stall, then it will begin to take over in your self-confidence when you're not seeing action on the item will begin to deteriorate. Okay? And then when you start feeling sorry for yourself and you start feeling guilt in yourself, then that would get you further behind. So once you get the ball going, keep going. If you had, on a scale of 1 to 10, if you had a number, if you had a 2 today, if that was your day today, then continue to move forward. If tomorrow is a 10, continue to move forward. If the next day is a 0, find a way to continue to move forward. And you want to know how we can constantly stay on top of those things and make sure that we're staying on track. Okay? It's by writing goals and staying disciplined and doing these things when we need to do them. Doing things when they're not relevant or they're not pertinent or they're not important is irrelevant. But doing it when it needs to be done is sweet. Doing it when it needs to be done will help move you forward towards your goal. You know, so you start, when you start having your goals, you start building on those daily goals. You start working on better habits through action, through movement, through determination, through faith. Okay? Because as you continue to arm yourself with facts, because we're going to go on an all-out learning. We're going to learn new ways and new techniques to learn faster. We're going to be determined to overcome this chapter in our life. Where we are right now is not the person that we will be. And if you're judging me right now, you're judging me prematurely, because this is part of the process that I'm going through in building the abundance and the success in my life. And when you're going through those struggles is when you have to maintain, when you have to have the courage, when you know you're doing the right thing, and the voice inside of you, that third being, that when you allow your super computer within you to kick in, that's telling you that you're doing the right thing, and you start pulling yourself away. Okay? It's going to get rough. When you start elevating at a fast speed and you're going through rocks and you're going through hurdles and you're going through people that doesn't want to see you be successful and you're going through life, you have to continue to fight. You have to be determined that where you are right now is didn't come to stay, it come to pass. Well, Hayden, how we gonna maintain that? How we gonna take a new look at things? How we gonna make a commitment to learning new techniques and building our confidence? How we gonna make sure that we don't stall and start feeling pity and or having any guilt for ourselves? You're gonna start by protecting your mind, being a guard dog of your mind. Guard thoughts out, if possible. Guard good thoughts and let them in. And protect them and don't let them out. Kick out the old habits and bring in the new. Go back and take a look at things. See what you've done in the past. See if you could go back to one of those things that may have changed your life. Find ways to constantly protect your mind. Stay disciplined. Stay away from worry and stay away from people that worry and that have a bad attitude. And learn how to just start ignoring and handling your negative problems or negative issues or negative people in your life. Get rid of them. Keep those individuals out of your life and learn that you are not to be a follower anymore of anyone. You're not to be a follower of Elvis. You're not to be a follower of Michael Jackson. You're not to be a follower of Donald Trump. You're not to be a follower of Hillary Clinton. You're not to be a follower of anyone else. You're here to be a follower of only the things that you have made a decision that you want to follow. And how do you do that? By being a student of life, not interjecting your feelings into any issue or situation. You analyze the problem. Because why? Because you're confident, because you are armed with the facts. And when you're armed with the facts, you become a great student and you learn how to handle your negative problems and all the negative things that would come in your way with a positive attitude. And it's like it'd be like water off a duck's back, because now once you start propelling and pulling yourself further and further away, and you start becoming a better and better student and you start learning from everything, your awareness will sharpen up and your faith will begin to strengthen and your confidence will shoot out of sight. And the success will be in your vision and you'll have the momentum that will help pull you towards your dreams a lot quicker. It's time to take a short break. We'll be back with more right after this. Who is this young kid growing up, par for life, experiencing all of the tough battles, watching people thrown off buildings as a little boy, violence surrounding him? Failure is not an option. You may find it at Barnes & Noble. Failure is not an option, a book that is here to inspire you. Car accident? Dents or scratches? Has the Florida sun faded your ride? Call High Gloss Paint and Body. Their service is fast and reliable. High Gloss Auto Paint and Body will deal with your insurance company, taking all the load off your shoulders. I know what that can be like. Call them today, 561-508-4220. They're located on 2550 Windsor Avenue, Suite A, West Palm Beach, Florida. You tell High Gloss that Hayden Russo sent you. Do you have a ride on your way? Are you in the New York area? When you're stuck, call on NYC Taxi Ride Yellow and Green. We have 2 apps at your availability, www.waytoride.com or www.goarro.com. NYC Yellow Cab is ready for you. Are you ready for your meeting next week with the Sororities Club? No, I want to be different. Me too. What are you going to do about it? I'm going to call Wearable Nelly. Who? Wearable Nelly. They got you covered. Sorority logos, promotional materials, handbags, uniforms, family reunion shirts, and under pressure, they'll deliver on time. Call them today. 561-293-6444. Or you can email them at wearablenalia@gmail.com. Hey, tell Rodney Russo that I sent you. That's 561-293-6444.
And now more of the Hayden Russo Show on TalkZone.com. Back to Hayden Russo.
Thank you. There's a great war in this life between good and evil. When you were born into this world, you were born into a negative society. There's nothing that you can do about that. That war was started way before you got here, because that war is between good and evil. And we talked about some of the things that can harm you and place you on the wrong side of that map and that equation. And that's why we started talking about cashing in on the opportunities of life, because part of the cashing in on the opportunities of life is that constant battle between good and evil. We talked about worrying and why you have to have faith and how, you know, have facts and believe in yourself and become aware and have confidence in yourself and to push yourself with a constant forward action, movement. We talked about the things that you think about all day long. Is that part constant battle of the good and evil? Why? Because you need to guard the gates of your mind. Getting what you need to be equipped to fight the war of good and evil is through constant self-development, self-improvement, bettering yourself, believing in yourself. You can't and you don't have time to worry, because when you worry, you kill neurons that we may need at some later date in time to deliver some message to you running at 170 miles an hour. Are you serious? Why would you want to damage your brain through worrying? Why would you want to stall your action through pessimism, which is one of the great diseases between the good and evil? We talked about not having goals and being lack of discipline. And we talked about how when you're building your confidence, okay, the thing that could stall you is lack of action. And when you have lack of action and you start feeling guilty for yourself, things start going in downward. Then instead of you building consistent daily habits and being determined to overcome where you are right now in this life, no. You start moving backwards. You stall. That's why when you start moving forward and when you start pulling away from other people and you start having the constant self-discipline, don't take a break. Don't have some vision that you want to take a 1 day break. 1 day break may be equivalent to 1 month off between the good and evil. 1 week of taking a break, 1 week may be 1 year off between the fight between good and evil. You have to guard the gates of your mind. You have to protect it. You have to guard yourself. If you want to live past 80, you have to have a strong mind. You have to believe in yourself. You have to refuse and be determined that nothing or anyone can get in your way except Almighty. And protecting your mind is a daily and constant struggle with your 60 to 90,000 thoughts a day. But we have told you through countless shows here on the Hayden Russo Show that you must meditate. You must just go into YouTube and put in meditation music and just play it and just listen to it. And as you're building new habits, learn to give up the phone. If you're meditating, meditate. Be in the moment. If you're with your cousin, be with your cousin. If you're in math class, be in math class. If you're at work, be at work. Stop texting and tweeting and Facebooking and Snapchatting when you're at work. Protect your job. Your work is not just work. Your work is taking away from your lifetime. Your work is taking a piece of your life. So don't just go to work to work. Go to work because working makes you feel you. And if you don't have a job that's making you feel that working makes you feel like being you, then maybe it is time to find a new one. Protect your mind. Don't let anyone intrude. Begin to change your habits. And one of the habits I give you that I use is I decide whether this is a major call or a minor call. If this is a minor call that I have to return, I just, it's a minor call. I just make nice small talk and, wish you the best of luck. And, I keep you in my prayers, which I do. And hey, good luck. But if it's a major conversation, then maybe I need to make a checklist on the things I need to make sure that I cover while I'm on the phone with this particular individual. I don't want to be one of the ones that say, it was something else I know I needed to ask you. There was one more thing, but I can't remember. I don't want you to be one of those individuals, because when you start changing your habits, when you start developing new learning techniques, then you'll learn that writing down your thoughts and the things that your questions that you may have and the things that are important to you in this conversation, if it's a major conversation, that is a good habit. Begin to develop and learn new ways, because the fight between good and evil is rough. The other thing is you have to care. Don't say you don't care about anything, because if you didn't care about those lines on the road, we couldn't trust you to drive. Imagine if you didn't care about just taking your vehicle and drive it on the wrong side of the road. you know. The other part, one of the greatest disease that you have when you're fighting the war between good and evil, when you can't make up your mind what you want to do. When you can't make up your mind on making any decision. This fight between good and evil is real big. So you can't have any self-doubt about yourself. You have to always be strong. No matter what happens, you always got to stay pumped up. You have to be ready. You have to continue to engage yourself and move and continue to move yourself forward. Because this fight between good and evil will cause you to go in a state of being overcautious. You know those individuals that's always cautious about everything, cautious that this may happen, cautious that that may happen, cautious that this may happen, caution that may happen over there. And then guess what you find yourself? While you're doing all of this caution thinking, you're not moving. You're not making any decisions. Okay? Okay? The way that you become, the way that you fight these elements, these 5 things that I just told you about being pessimist, okay, about not caring about things, and can't make up your mind, and having self-doubt, and being overcautious, right? The way that you overcome those things, you become a believer in yourself. You become the gladiator within yourself. You become the protector of you. You become the protector of your mind, the protector of your breathing, the protector of how you do things. You become the protector of your habits. And this may not be a requirement of yours, but I'm requiring myself to a higher standard. I'm requiring myself to hold myself to a new level to help me fight this war between good and evil. And and as I go through life and I continue through this path of constant self-development, constant self-improvement, I begin gaining a lot of experiences. And it's that point in your life when you begin to gain a lot of experiences. That's when your life begin to elevate. That's when your life begin to totally separate itself, because when you start beginning to collect experiences, you'll start learning that life is all about the collection of experiences, because when you start collecting the experiences, the superconscious mind that's within you, because that you controlling your thoughts. And then because you're controlling your thoughts and you know what you want and you know it clearly, then the superconscious mind goes into a 24-hour mode that has nothing to do with you. It starts finding the answers for you without you even doing anything, because you're purifying your mind through guarding and protecting and not worrying, and through meditation. Okay? And then in the beginning, when you're fighting the war between good and evil, you start losing in the beginning. It just starts off like that for all of us. I'm sorry. Okay? And just to give you an example, the difference between a guy that's looking outside that sees a bad storm coming, one would say, well, I'm not going out. Let's say he's a salesman. I'm not going out today. And the other one that has changed his habits is that on a positive mindset says, ooh, the rain and the storm is about to come. Let me get an earlier jump, because I need to try to engage with as many customers as I can before the rain comes in. So when you start having good habits and you start thinking positive, you start getting things, you start moving your life forward and you start pushing yourself, you start building a daily momentum because you have your goals. You know where you're going. You know the direction you want to go in. So you're running. You may be walking, but you're running because when you're walking and running towards your goals and your dreams and you start feeling passionate and you start being a believer in yourself, you begin to win the war between good and evil. But as I said before, you can't take no time off. You can't take weeks off. You can't take any times off because when you take time off, evil is moving in. Evil is sneaking in on the good when you're taking time off. When you're fighting with your wife and your wife says sleep on the couch, evil is moving in because you're not sleeping together. When you start making excuses about this person did it, that other person did it, you start letting evil move in. Let me tell you something. When you keep fighting for retirement and saying, I want to work for this company and I want to retire and have a good life. I'm here to tell you that the evil says that the average years that you will have when you retire is 6 years. That's the average years that you live after you retire. So why retire? I'd rather be on the side of good. I'd rather keep working. Why? Because I'm going to continue to pick my direction and I'm going to go. I'm not going to wait for anybody. I'm going to fight all adversities. I'm not going to wait for anyone to say that I'm not successful because I understand through my learning, and through my learning, I built my wisdom and I have the confidence to understand that all adversity bring success on the other side. Why? Because I try harder. Because I don't have my feelings in the way. Because I'm strong. I'm my own gladiator. I protect my life and I protect my mind and I take care of my body and I protect my soul through meditation. Why? Because failure is not an option, because I know it's not going to be easy. And when I know it's not going to be easy, I'm going to continue to fight harder. And when I'm continuing to fight harder with facts and not worrying about what other people think or what everybody think of me, I continue to build myself. I continue to have my armor to help protect myself. And I continue to find ways to learn new ways and techniques to make my life better and help put me on the good side of life. Thereby, I'll start winning the war between good and evil. Everyone in their life should know what they want and how they want to do it. You should not ever want to give up or even think that it's subject to give up on anything in your life. You'll continue to be strong and you'll never give up on anything. Learn to give your all. Don't be a follower. Be a student in life. I hope this show was very inspirational. Please come back and see us next week, Wednesday. Every Wednesday we're here live from 5 to 6. Thank you. This is TalkZone.com. Who is this young kid growing up, par for life, experiencing all of the tough battles, watching people thrown off buildings as a little boy, violence surrounding him? Failure is not an option. You may find it at Barnes & Noble. Failure is not an option, a book that is here to inspire you. Motivational Speaker Incorporated, Hayden Russo, author, radio show host, motivator. Book Hayden Russo today, 561-723-6775. It's time for a change, and let Hayden Russo show you the way. Why replace your roof when you can repair it? Call Built Right Roofing today at